Today I want to talk to you a little bit about DataOps. DataOps is being bandied around quite a lot at the moment in the press, and I wanted to provide to you IBM's perspective on DataOps and actually how it can fundamentally change the way you work in the data management space. You've all heard the story about AI, all right? Those of you that were in Rob Thomas's keynote session this morning will recognize that not only is AI now here, people are actually doing some really interesting things with AI. Going back probably 18 months to 2 years ago, I would have been stood here saying, here's all the wonderful things you could do with AI, right? This is how you can bring AI into your business. The difference is now, actually, we've got so many examples of clients that have actually embraced AI, machine learning, and fundamentally changed the way they do business through the use of artificial intelligence. And there's just some examples there. These are real things that have changed the way that organization is able to operate and run their business. Now, to get to becoming productive with AI, it's not just a magic switch that you can turn on. It takes time. If you look at a typical IT transformation run by, I think this survey was by, the original survey I think was by MIT Sloan, then in terms of data warehouse modernization, a lot of clients kind of are at that point still. But just doing a modernization project doesn't get you to then suddenly become effective at AI. There's a big explosion in the need for self-service analytics, data catalogs, etc., so that you can start to democratize, monetize your data. And then once you've done that and you're able to put information in the hands of your machine learning community, your data scientists, that's when you can really start to be effective at baking AI into your business. But it's transformation. Now, at IBM we say there is no AI without IA, your information architecture. What we mean by that is you can't just spin up a data science team and expect them to be productive as data scientists. Okay, yeah, I'm sure you'll be able to create some models. Maybe you'll be able to get some of those into your business processes. But I can guarantee you that data science team won't be as efficient as they could be. And more often than not, actually, the models and the insights they're creating are incorrect, inaccurate, because they're based on a very small subset of untrusted, ungoverned data. So what we in IBM believe is that if you focus on getting your foundation correct, your data foundation correct, operationalizing your data management, data governance practices to allow you to understand and collect that information in an effective way, then actually the journey to AI is much easier. And so we talk about the AI ladder. Okay, I'm sure if you've had any meetings with IBM over the last 12 months, you've probably seen the ladder. The AI ladder is really a set of prescriptive steps that allow you to embrace that journey towards AI much more effectively. It starts at the bottom, the collection of your data. You need to be able to collect your data if you're going to use it for machine learning. So using our database technologies, we're able to make data understood and collected. The next rung is the organize, and this is really where DataOps sits. The organization of your data is critical to ensure that you're able to make a success further up the ladder. Organization means governing, understanding the master data management processes that you're running today, your ETL process that you're running today, your metadata management processes that you're running today. Being able to bring all of those projects together to organize your data in an efficient way is a critical point of that. I would argue that unless you do this, you may as well not do the rest. All right. As we move up, analyzing is making your data scientists productive, allowing them, giving them the tools they need to be able to build data science with explainability, making sure their models are accurate and explainable. And then finally, up at the infuse step, this is where we bake our machine learning into those business processes. All right. So from a DataOps perspective, we're going to focus on those organized capabilities. So let's talk a little bit about DataOps. If you look at the typical technologies that are involved in that organized rung of the ladder, hopefully a lot of those are familiar to you. The data integration, data quality, MDM, governance, data prep, and test data management. All of those technologies typically are long-running projects, right? They require long-running projects. Governance is a very important part of any business, data governance. But boy, is it hard, complex, mundane, expensive, all right? And so by taking a DataOps approach, it really means automating a huge amount of that mundaneness that's involved with organizing your data. If you can automate the mundaneness of that, it allows you to accelerate the ways in which you're able to serve business-ready data up to the consumers, up to the data scientists, up to the analytics community. And these stats at the bottom here, these are real stats. Being able to discover, reduce time to discover metadata and assign business terminology to it by 90%. Being able to reduce the time that it takes to create your business glossary. All right, so by applying machine learning ourselves in our own technology, we've been able to provide a DataOps practice that automates a huge amount of that work in that organized run for our customers. Let's take a little look at a typical process that a data science organization would go through. All right, it's extremely inefficient. So a huge amount of time, I'm sure everyone's seen that 80% figure, 80% of our time as a data scientist is spent finding and preparing data. And if you think about it, as a data scientist, I didn't get into data science to spend all my time arguing with IT, looking around trying to find data. I actually want to focus here. I want to be messing with algorithms and working with the data science aspects. But from a business perspective, all of this is not delivering value. I only deliver value when I'm able to deliver my finished artifacts, push them into production and deliver them to the business. And so DataOps is all about automating as much of this mundaneness so that a data scientist, a business analyst, a data citizen is able to get access to business-ready data extremely quickly so they can determine whether or not this is the right data for them. They can understand and trust where it's come from, deliver their model, deliver their analytics, deliver their dashboard. And do you know what? It allows them to fail fast. Because if they get to the end of that life cycle, having spent 80% of their time trying to find what they think is the right data, and then they get to the end and they think, this isn't telling me what I wanted, this report isn't right, because they've worked on the wrong data, that's a huge amount of wasted time. So by failing fast, allowing those individuals to be able to find data quickly and become productive and focus on the right-hand side, that's really where DataOps can turbocharge and fundamentally change the way in which you're working with data. So where we want to get to is a chart more like that, where the preparing and finding of information is easy and quick. But to do that, it requires us to have been able to be provided with data that can be easily understood, is trusted, I know where it's come from, but also I'm able to access more data than I would have been able to before, moving it from months into days to deliver my models, to deliver my analytics. It's really about delivering data that's come into our organization and delivering it to the consumers in the most cost-effective way that we can. And so taking out some of those large hurdles around preparing and understanding that data by delivering business-ready data up to those consumers is really at its core. And a key driver of this is the transformation of the underlying governance programs across the business. As I said earlier, data governance has always been about huge, large, complex, expensive. It's a necessary evil. We've got to invest in these governance programs because otherwise we're going to get fined, fired, sent to jail, whatever. But this is about turning those governance programs on their head to saying, yes, this is important, but actually, if we apply a DataOps mentality to those processes, and we automate a lot of those through using technology, then actually the data governance division becomes critical to that data transformation to deliver value to the data science teams, to the data citizens that are trying to find information. Instead of the office of no, actually we become a very important office of being able to provide that value to those consumers. Didn't know it was a builder. All right, so this is real. We've got clients that have been working with us to implement this. This was a large bank They focused on how they could implement DataOps methodologies using our technology to understand their data better. And they had a large team that were manually correcting data issues, making changes, updates to data. Using DataOps, they were able to automate that, which meant through that project, rather than their data quality being at about a level of 6%, it got accelerated to 93% for the sources that they implemented a DataOps process on. That's huge. I mean, that's many years of human labour that would have been required to have that dramatic impact on their data quality. And they were able to automate it through a DataOps approach. As a result, their NPS score significantly went up because they understood their customers better. They were able to provide targeted services to their customers because the data that they were working with from the analytics side was of high quality. So they knew who a customer was, who their kids were, what accounts they were. They were making sure that only one mail shot was getting sent out instead of 6 to the same customer with slightly different names. All right, so they had a huge benefit they were able to gain very quickly from taking a DataOps approach. This is what a typical project looks like from a data citizen's perspective. Again, it's that 80%, right? I'm spending all my time up front working on the data, trying to find the right data. I put a request into IT for some data and I wait 2 weeks because they're busy. Finally, the data gets sent to me. Nope, that's not the data I wanted or asked for. I actually want a different data set. So I've got to go back and put another request in. But, you know, I've got a week left to deliver this analytics or this machine learning model. Well, I'm just going to work with the data that I've got. That's good enough. I'll work with that. Do you really want those types of decisions that you're going to make based on those dashboards, based on those analytics, based on that machine learning, to be based on good enough data because I ran out of time? No, you don't. What you want is a DataOps foundation where data has been collected and understood and harvested, its quality identified, and served up to that community so they can quickly find data faster than they've ever been able to before, build what they need, and then decide, actually, is this what I want? No, there's some better data here I should be using. So it's about bringing to life a more iterative approach towards the way in which data can be used. But you've got to start somewhere with DataOps, right? Now, typically we find many of our customers are already doing a lot of these things, right? Customers already have master data management programs, data governance programs. But what we've done with our technology now is we've really focused on using machine learning embedded inside our technology to automate the processes our customers have gone through metadata management or data quality, for example. Excuse me. So now, taking a DataOps approach, you can deploy our technology and we'll automatically inventory and catalog your data. So we'll go and discover all these different data sources. We'll automate a huge amount of the governance and quality associated with those projects. And then finally, we'll allow you to publish that data up into a data catalog so that it can be easily used and discovered. Excuse me. So let's look at a typical pipeline with DataOps. So all of your enterprise IT sources, behind your firewall, outside your firewall, on cloud, wherever. You've got this mash of data all over the place. In fact, you probably don't even know the full breadth of the data that you've got. Using a DataOps powered set of technologies, you can automate the discovery of that data. All right, so you can go and point your metadata management system, your data catalog, at your data, and it will go and discover what's there. What we then do is classify that data. And so what we can do is we can say, here's your data sets that we've discovered. We're going to profile that, and we can see that actually you've got credit card numbers here, and you've got last names here, and you've got national insurance numbers here. And so we capture that information and store it automatically in your metadata. We've got customers that have 300 data stewards doing that manually. All right? And so what we're able to do now is automate that for you. We can detect over almost 200 different types. You can plug in your own classifiers, but we can automate a huge amount of that for you. Once you've done that and you now know where your data is and kind of what it is, we can also detect the sensitive data. So if you've got SPI, PII type data, we'll also detect that inside your system, and we'll capture that in this metadata repository. We'll then run data quality profiling on that data. So let's say you've got date of births inside a column in data. Well, we'll look at that and we'll say, right, well, there's null values in there, there's invalid date formats, maybe everyone was born in 1901, that's probably not correct. All right, so we'll apply algorithms using machine learning to that and capture that in the metadata. Excuse me, I had no cough today. Okay, and then finally, if you've got your business glossary, we're able to map your business glossary to your data automatically. And now what that means is, as people are using the catalogue, they're able to search with terminology that they know. And again, we've got teams of customers that have been doing that manually. But because we have this picture of your data that's been intelligently captured using our machine learning, we can automatically start to assign business terms. And you're never going to replace the human, right? There's a human in the loop. A human needs to go in and correct and curate, okay? But that feeds back into the machine learning model. It's machine learning, it learns, it gets smarter over time. And so as you're making those corrections, you're training the model and improving it so that you can start to automate more and more over time. All of that is then stored in a knowledge catalogue. So you've built up this rich index of all of your data, rich dimensions inside that metadata, telling you exactly what that data is and where it's come from, capturing the lineage of that data. And then where you can really start to get value from that data ops process is where you serve it up to those data citizens, to those data scientists. So using what we call a governed data access plane, but it's effectively data virtualization, your consumers can then access that data through that governed plane. Why is it governed? Well, do you know what? All this work here that we've done as part of our governance program, we also have our governance policies and our governance rules that have been created. So we now know what this data is and how it can be used. We know who's accessing it through that governed data plane. So we can say, hey Jay, this data's got credit card numbers in it. You're not allowed to see credit card numbers. So as you're accessing that data, we're going to mask them on the fly. So you can't see those credit card numbers. All right? That's really important because previously that data wouldn't have even been available to me because it's sensitive. Okay? But there's one column that's sensitive actually. There's 19 other columns that could be the most valuable data I need to be able to build the most accurate machine learning model. Now I have access to it while still ensuring that data is protected. Also included in there are a set of tools that allow me to become productive with the data. There's a lot of data catalogues that kind of give you a lovely view of your data, but when you actually want to get access to that data, you've still got to go to IT to get access and get them to send you the right extracts, etc. Well, that's not self-service. There's nothing self-service about that. But what we've done is we've built intelligent preparation tools that allow you to build your own self-service pipeline to say, right, there's some data over here. That's the data I want. I can see there's sensitive data masked. Okay, that's fine. I understand the quality. I know I can trust it. I know where it's come from. I found it using my business terminology. Well, now I'm going to build a pipeline and have that data delivered to me to wherever I want it to be delivered to, whether that's a sandbox database or into Tableau or into Cognos or wherever. And as that data is delivered to me, it's masked. So I've now got my own little data set that I've found across a whole huge amount of other data that exists in the enterprise that I can actually now go and use. All right, so that really does show how applying data operations to your governance pipelines, your data pipelines, can serve the needs and make you ultimately effective at AI. And that's why I said at the beginning, if you don't get that organized piece of that AI ladder right, you may as well not bother with the other pieces, because you're not going to be getting the benefits that you need to run your business. But DataOps doesn't sit alone. All right, DataOps is foundational to a whole bunch of other concepts that exist across any organization. So application developers and the DevOps life cycles, it needs to be tied into that as well. Application developers are creating data. Application developers are looking for data. All right, they need to be able to make sure they can publish and that data is understood by the DataOps teams. ITsec, right? All of the governance policies that those guys are creating, they need to be enforced upon the system as well. And I talked about the policy enforcement, how we can make sure that we are now activating some of our governance policies. The data science and the lines of business teams, right? Those guys need more data, they need access to it quicker, they need to understand where it's come from. All right, so being able to make sure that those guys are able to work with the best data and get access to it, fundamental part of ensuring DataOps exists. And if you think about it, everything that's going on from your data science team, I'm using data science as an example, but you could be data citizens and business analytics, all right? All this stuff that you're investing in through tools for building models, machine learning, APIs that you may be using, specific APIs, worrying about lifecycle management and bias detection inside your machine learning models, the AI applications you've got running on top, it all starts with understanding your data. The more you can invest in DataOps here, the less you'll be investing overall in that data management piece. Okay, so I can't emphasize enough how DataOps can fundamentally make your investments over here more successful. And at IBM, we have a portfolio that embraces DataOps. Significant investment. So our Watson Knowledge Catalog is our intelligent machine learning data catalog. It brings together data governance, data quality, and data cataloging. All of it supporting DataOps. So it automates the collection of your data, the capture of your metadata, the profiling, your glossaries, your reference data management, brings that all together with a set of integrated tools, applies data quality, deep data quality profiling, fast scan quality profiling, bring that together to build this rich sense of information about your data, and then finally serves it up in a machine learning powered data catalog, which uses machine learning to help individuals find the right data and allow people to provide self-service with those data preparation tools, so that you can then focus your data citizens and your data scientists on what it is they want to do, delivering value to the business through data science. But of course, at IBM, we're open, right? You don't have to use our tools, all right? You can use our Watson Knowledge Catalog, and you can use it with your own data science tools, your own analytics tools. We collect the data anywhere in lots of different places. And importantly, we run on any cloud. So whether you're running on AWS or Azure or whatever, you can run this on those clouds, on our cloud. You can run it behind your firewall, on premise. You can run it wherever you like and connect to data wherever you like to build that automated view of your information. All of this runs on IBM Cloud Pak for Data. Okay, so Cloud Pak for Data is our modern containerized delivery mechanism for a lot of our software, running on OpenShift. You can think of it as our operating system, if you like, for software. So you can deploy our technology. If you want to start with Watson Knowledge Catalog, you deploy just Watson Knowledge Catalog. If you want to deploy Watson Studio for data science, you can deploy just Watson Studio. You don't have to deploy the whole platform, all right? But effectively, by deploying our technology on that platform, it allows you then to take advantage of those data ops, the automation, it's all there for allow you to start your data ops journey. AI is not magic, all right? We've got lots of customers that we're working with to do this. I particularly like the Autoglass one because this happened to me recently, where you get a stone chip on your windscreen, and you don't know whether it's going to cost you for a new windscreen or it's just going to cost you the £75 for the filler that they do. Well, they can now, using machine learning, you take a picture, it scans the picture, reads the picture, and gives you a quote based on the damage to your windscreen. That's a great example of how machine learning infused in the business process is actually reducing cost for them and saving them. Actually, it's quite a good customer experience actually as well. I also like the fantasy football one. I'm trying to figure out how I can use that myself for my own fantasy football teams. But basically starting to provide analytics on this was actually on the NFL, not in the UK, but using analytics to apply machine learning to start to figure out which teams are the best picks for that week. So how do you get started? Right, so like I said, many of you have existing data governance programs today. Many of you have MDM programs, ETL programs, etc. What we do in IBM is we offer our DataOps Center of Excellence team, completely free of charge, to come in with you, look at what you're doing today, and determine how we can start to provide levels of automation into those processes to serve the needs better of your data consumers. All right, so those guys will come in, they'll look at what you're doing and identify a small pilot project. And then using the garage method or the discovery workshops, we'll kind of spec out what that pilot project is, and then we'll come in and deliver the pilot project, typically 6 weeks, 3 sprints, very fast. You know, this isn't your big 12-month transformational project, right? This is very agile. Come in and demonstrate how a data ops approach could actually deliver value to you through that pilot project. All right, so it's an extremely good program. We're working with a lot of clients through this program to start to pick off pieces where we can start to automate, whether it's data quality or MDM or whatever it is, inside that organized rung of the ladder. We're over on the booth, so if you want to come over to the booth, I think it's right over in that corner, then do come and see us, and we've got demonstrations of all of this, and we can show you how DataOps can help you make that change. All right, thank you.